Welcome back. It's another early morning Sunday show. Cheers. Today, we are going to show, what do we got here? I have some like Indian, Australian surf. Okay, I don't know. Electronic, something similar to Joy Division. There's some jazz. Some punk, some post-punk kinda, and some different stuff. There's going to be some groups that you're probably not going to know. I know generally I show just only groups that everybody knows. Right. There's some different things today. So stick around, learn something, hear something new from the samples. You never know. You might go, I'm loving this. Or you might go, God, that guy, what the hell? The opening, the first part. What do idiots do? It's 15 degrees out, and what do they like to do? I guess go run. I really thought, hey, you know what? There might not be many people at this turkey trot, so it won't be so bad. And we get there, and this parking lot's just jam-packed. There's hundreds and hundreds of people. 15 degrees out. They're all out there, and well, my whole family, everyone made it. The little ones and all bundled up. I've never walked a race. I've always been a runner. And since the arthritis and I haven't been able to run, I just haven't done any of these because really I couldn't walk. So, the big question, can Grandpa make it? Well, I did. But Aiden got really restless. There's a bunch of other little ones getting really restless. The time we finished, that parking lot was empty. It was just kind of waiting. When's the last one's coming in? There was a few behind us, but not many. So, but you know what? Stayed warm. So cheers to us. The other scenes from Rocky Mountain National Park. When we were there last month, they had closed off the road to get to the top. That was where I was at the final spot, where before the road closure. So I walked up that road some and took a picture as we were now above timberline. Just beautiful. The mountains now, they're just packed with snow. So it's exciting. This next weekend, we're heading to Breckenridge. The whole family will be in Breckenridge. Thanksgiving was great, the first time in many years that everyone was together. So, it's been a lot of fun out here. Really enjoying it. Hope everyone had a good Black Friday. For those that went out, I hope you found what you wanted for and are exciting. For those that didn't, that's just a-okay. You know what? There's just a lot of things today. A lot of places are having just cool vinyl sales on. No, not today. I was yesterday. They were having cool vinyl sales. Went out and looked around some, but I've spent a lot of money. Black Friday still, there's a couple things I like to find, but that stuff just seems to be around now. There's so much of it, but that's okay. I got a lot to show, so let us move forward here. And first off, just some VCLT. I brought this in from John Digital Gramophone, and it's A.G. Lee and Blue Summit. He actually had kind of a contest, but not a contest. Just said, hey, guess which concert I, have been to or have not been to. And I came the closest, which was 2 out of 3. So I gave him crap. Goes, does that mean I won? He goes, no, but I'll send you something. So he did. And so he sent me this A.G. Lee Blue Summit City of Glass, which is bluegrass. He wrote me, he goes, you've been showing a lot of stoner rock. You want a stoner rock album or you want bluegrass? And says, I love bluegrass. Send me a bluegrass. So we have this, and I will show it later once I, really digest all this. But I believe it's new this year, and it's just it's very great bluegrass. So I'm really enjoying this. So John, thank you very much. Yes, as I told you, you didn't have to do that. You did. That was pretty cool. John's a great channel. Digital Gramophone. It just did sad bastard vinyl tag. John's like, He's extremely funny. He's sarcastic as all get out, which I love about him. But fantastic channel. Check it out. Digital Gramophone. John's wonderful. All right, we're going to begin here. We're starting down in Australia with Glass Beams. Glass Beams out of Melbourne. And this is basically an EP. And let's see, is there anything in here? Nope. And we have just that. It's a very cool, fun, interesting album. It is an Australian, they call themselves an Australian psych band. Basically they wear masks. They wear masks, and it's just like this gold mesh that they have in front of their face, so you don't know who they are. They're from Melbourne, and I have a feeling I kind of recognize one. I think one of them is Ben Rankin. Check out his channel, and you're going to see that I think one of those people behind that mask is Ben Rankin, because he's out of Melbourne. So, yeah, Ben, I'm sorry to kind of blow that, but hey, I think I know who you are. This group, though, think Khruangbin, but a Khruangbin with a much fuller sound, more instrumentation, more stuff happening, and cooler. That's what you get. Okay, the bass from Khruangbin. Yeah, she's pretty cool. But this is pure enjoyment. It is really fun. It's filled with a lot of textural sounds. It's experimental with these hypnotic jams happening, and it's, yeah, it just takes you. There's no lyrics. There is ahs and oohs. Yeah, maybe there is some lyrics now that I come to think of it. You don't notice it. It's all about the music. What they've done is they've taken more traditional Indian music and mixed it with Australian surf rock. And they've thrown that all together, and they just come out with this gorgeous album. It is music, it's funky, it propels you forward, and just has just this pure groove happening. This is just, yeah, great stuff. I really like this. I can't remember whose channel. Oh, I should tell you that Glass Beams, and the name of the album is Mahal. Just wonderful. I totally enjoyed this thing. Not sure where I saw this. Was it from Sam's channel or someone else that showed this? But well worth it. Moving on, we have out of Ireland now. We're going to pop over to Ireland real quick because I like to keep things moving around the world. And we have Melts. I think it's just Melts. Yes, Melts. Not the Melts. This is Melts. And Melts were formed in 2017. And this is their sophomore album, Field Theory. And it's their sophomore album. Beautiful green. This is from Fuzz Club. Gotta love Fuzz Club. Inner sleeve. Not a lot happening there. And so this was actually when they recorded. This came out this year. New album. It was recorded live to tape. You know, they just turn it on and away we go. Nothing else really was done with it. It does have kind of like a signature synth bass sound. It's kind of somewhere in between, I would say, post-punk, goth, and rave. really are in there. The vocals definitely are darker and very much Joy Division influenced. He just sounds like, has that real Ian Curtis type of a sound going on. The music at times, it can be cold, it can be mechanical due to the strong synth lines that are happening within the music. And also there's just a lot of layered guitars and just this primal percussion that's happening on this album. There is kind of almost like a Kraftwerk feel, the coldness of Kraftwerk with their music. You can feel that on here, and then the darkness of the vocalist. So very interesting. It's like, welcome to the Melt Machine. That's what we got going on here. Exciting music. First listen, it's like, this is a little different, but repeated listenings, I've really been enjoying this. Fun artwork. So, kind of psych, but more. I think I'd throw it more into the post-punk psych. Is that a thing? I don't know. I guess you could have any damn label you darn well please. But yeah, out of Dublin, something new from Ireland. There we go. Then, how about some jazz? And we have this from Vinyl Me Please, Wynton Marsalis. I think I'm down to $60 in credit on Vinyl Me Please. I've ordered a bunch of stuff and it's not really coming, so I don't know. But nice. There's nothing special in here. No books. It's black vinyl. Just trust me. Wynton Marsalis, born in '61 in New Orleans. I guess part of the first family of jazz. And when I say first family of jazz, is the father was a jazz musician. All three brothers are jazz musicians. And not just little, I mean, we're talking big-time jazz musicians. He burst onto the scene in 1980. He was part of the Young Lions. That was what was happening. The Young Lions were roaring. They were coming in trying to, put some young people back into jazz, because really it's just been everyone was getting older and older. And he was criticized. The critics were just hard on him because they just said, Wynton Marsalis is a Miles Davis copycat. And it's true, he was taking his inspiration from 60s acoustic Miles. And he was also very much an outspoken critic on jazz funk, jazz fusion, free jazz. Didn't like it at all. I just didn't think it was right. So, and he was vocal about this. The thing is, Miles Davis did not like Wynton Marsalis. I mean, Miles Davis felt Wynton Marsalis had no soul. Miles Davis say he was great. He could play technically, but he didn't have the feel for jazz. And Miles was playing in this club. It's common in jazz for a musician, they bring in their instruments, they go to watch and jump up on stage and play. Well, Wynton is there and he's listening to Miles. He has his trumpet. And I think it was his manager. Someone was saying, go up there and play with Miles. Come on, just get up there. And Wynton says, I don't think he likes me. He goes, nah. He's going to let you play. So Wynton jumps up on stage to play with Miles. And Miles just stops, looks at him, glares, and get off my stage, motherfucker. you know you had to call him a motherfucker. I mean, that's Miles Davis. Every other word was that. and went and had to get off. Embarrassing, yeah. So not a lot of love for Miles, and yeah, that was bad. So this album came out in 1985. Black Codes is the name of the album, and this again, the music is inspired from that mid Miles Davis period, which I personally really love. The music this album is filled with young musicians that are playing. In fact, even his brother Bradford is playing sax on this album. It's acoustic jazz, and at age 22, this guy had won a Grammy. So the jazz, some of these critics were really embracing him. At least the Grammys were, but that's the Grammys, right? But his music is kind of a mix, jazz, but also classical. Because again, he's very technical, very educated with all of this. This music here, Black Codes was what the post-Civil War Southern laws that were put into place on African Americans. So it was just these special laws on African Americans. Hey, you're free, but guess what? Here's all the stuff we have. This is some great post-bop music, and very enjoyable. And again, there is a difference. I mean, I would have to agree. It doesn't have the soul that I usually would hear of Miles Davis, but it's very good if you like that mid part of Miles Davis period in the 60s. From Brucey Baby, Ron. This was an album Ron had sent me. And I had been looking for this album and had not found it yet. It's Richard Hell and the Voidroids. This is their second album, Destiny Street. And so I could believe when this came, oh my God, I've been trying to get this album. And so happy to get it. This is a German press, and it came out on white, a reissue from Germany. And what's really great is on here, Robert Quinn is playing on guitar, and he played guitars on Hell's first album. So it took, this came out in 1982. It took 5 years for Richard Hell to do a follow-up on his debut album. Richard Hell is not known for, hey, let's get in, let's start recording in this. I mean, there's a lot of drugs to do. He was trying to become an actor. He had a lot of stuff happening. I mean, this book here, I'd read on Richard Hell. I Dreamed I Was a Very Clean Tramp is just a wonderful read to kind of go through Richard Hell's life and what was happening. And during this time, again, he did his music, but yeah, man, a lot of people didn't care. So yeah, it just took a while to get the next album out, but he did. And this, it has a lot of smart lyrics with a rock and roll beat happening on here. He does 3 covers. He does a cover of the Kinks. Let's see, it was the Kinks. Which one was it? You gotta move. The Kinks' You Gotta Move was what cover. He did a song from them. It was I Can Only Give You Everything, and from Bob Dylan, Going, Gone. So 3 kind of different covers to do, which he did. He sings, his songs are about mortality, about past mistakes, and it has, kind of a punk feel, but you can tell it actually sounds kind of dated now. When you think of 82, he's having more of this punk feel from the 70s that has dated to some extent. That said, I think it's great because it's my kind of punk. It is changing. He has some quieter songs on here. It definitely inspired by punk, but it's a rock and roll album. That's what you're getting on here. So Richard Hell and the Voidoids, excited to get this. Thank you, Ron. Destiny Street.
For sale, and let you at the kitchen sink. Well, look out, here he comes again. Look out, they say he's dead, he's my free best friend. Look out, he's so honest with the dishonest red. Meeting up with a replaceable head.
Moving on. And from Poughkeepsie. How's that? Poughkeepsie, fun place. We have this Agitpop, Agitpop, Agitpop. That's the name of the group, man. 81 to 89 it was formed. Isn't that kind of a different thing? Poughkeepsie, best known as Groundhog's Day. Where we have Groundhog's Day. It is on Agitpop. I don't really tell. Can't tell what the freaking label is. Also, it has this. Oh, this is neat. So all the notes are about, and also the vocal and lyrics they put on this sheet of sheet music. That's neat. That's fun. Something different to do. This is art punk, post-punk, experimental rock. I would explain this thing. It's their debut album. It's called Feast of the Sunfish. Hooray for the Feast of the Sunfish, which came out in, this came out in 1985. And it's kind of a mix of, you could say, of the Minutemen, Gang of Four, and Wire. Throw them together, you get something similar to Agitpop. And it's like filled with this offbeat percussion. Again, you think of Gang of Four especially, there's real offbeat percussion going on. In fact, they use some songs a tiny little xylophone. They even use pots and pans to pound on. So these guys are not traditional. I picked this up when I was with Tice and we were out a few months back. And so I got a lot of albums. The music is very political. It's during Reaganomics, or the ending of Reaganomics. There's a thing about the Cold War, about oil companies and what they're doing, and the rich beating down the poor. Yeah, so you have all the fun stuff here out of the U.S. Again, very, very political. There is some very weird strong song structures happening on here. Again, the percussion and pounding drums, very, very different. This is not an easy album to dance to. If you want to dance, I wouldn't get this unless you really can do herky-jerky type moves. You know, there was like this song Reasons of State, and that one just had these, it was just these pounding drums, but again, just so offbeat, out of sync with these lyrics kind of happening, but it sounds cool. And then at the end, these huge squealing guitars come in, you know, and suddenly it's the first thing besides this percussion that's happening. This is extremely original. It is not melodic. So some of you are going to go, man, that's my kind of stuff. It's interesting in a good way. I enjoyed this, and it is a little bizarre. You know, if this was in jazz, I'd probably be going, what the hell? But I do like, you know, Gang of Four, A Wire. I am big on them, and yeah, that's not bad at all. Once in a while, you just need to have something a little bit different. Speaking of different, final album. Gagaku. Gagaku, Gagaku, oh lordy, ancient Japanese court music. There you go. I picked this. Tice picked this up and goes, well, this sounds interesting. What do you think? You know, boy, does this sounds like something you might get into. And I thought, well, let's give it a shot. You know, it didn't cost that much, so I did. I realized I had no ancient Japanese court music. So what's interesting on here is so this Gagaku, what it is, in the 700 AD, we're talking 700 AD, in Japan, they formed the Ministry of Music and Dances. 700 AD. Europe's going through Black Plague or whatever, you know, the world's falling apart. In Japan, we are forming the Ministry of Music and Dances, where all the musicians came under that and were under their command. Wow. And so they called that music Gaku. You know, those that go to Japan, you can help me out on there. But the music on here, it's instrumental, and it has a Chinese influence. And the music on this album came out in around the 9th century. So, you know, it's a little newer. 9th century. Wow. Side 1 is pure music form. It's not made for anything special. It was just, if you go in, hey, we're gonna have a concert, here you go, you know, we're gonna play this. Again, percussion, it's just slow. You hear the Japanese kind of their violin. I don't know what even the names of their instruments are. Very, very traditional. Side 2 was music that was accompaniment to dance. And no, you're not going to be jumping around and waltzing or anything like that. You're going to be doing a little slower movements. Interesting album. You know, there's that interesting word again. Is it good or bad? It was a great listen. Is it something I'm going to just pull out and go, God, Japanese court music would be great to play? Probably not going to happen, but it does make it fascinating to listen to something different, to hear what's going on. I love classical music. This is Japanese classical music, so you just have to kind of keep that in your mind. So there we go, Gagaku, and it is ancient Japanese court music. Yeah. And that's what we got for this week. As always, I appreciate you hanging out with me, doing this. You know, I appreciate all the new subscribers that have jumped on. This week we'll have a couple more videos. Trying to get them out before we head out to Breckenridge. Have to record one of these too, because there will be a Sunday show, even though I'm going to be up in the mountains. Probably not skiing, but I did buy a hell of a good sled. So, and right by our place is a sledding hill. I love sledding. I think I can do that without killing myself. So there we go. Everyone, have yourself a great week. Hopefully you got lots of Black Friday deals or whatever. Christmas is upon us. Let's spend over $1 trillion and go dead. Have a great one. Bye.